Hi there, welcome to the first part of making our RPG. We are going to start with importing tiles and filling our world using GameMaker's auto tiling feature. For this we are going to start with a fresh new project, so go ahead and create a new GML project, and once you have done that, we can start importing our tiles. First of all, in the asset browser we have a lot of groups. We are not gonna need most of them, at least for this section, so I'll select them using Shift and my mouse and delete them. Same for these. I'll leave the rooms one there because it already has a room which we are going to need. Now I'll create a new group for sprites, so this will contain any sprites that we create. Before we do that, I'll go up here in the filter menu and change the order from A to Z to custom order. This way we can place our assets in any order we want and they won't be alphabetically sorted. It just gives us more control over the asset browser. Now in the sprites group, I'll create a new group called tiles. This will contain the sprites for our tile sets. I'll create a new sprite here and name this as tileset ground. In the sprite editor, I'll click on import and go to the resources for this course. Here I have a tileset image for the ground, so I'll import that. So you can tell that this tileset is for the ground. Now in the same group, I'll create another sprite and name this as tileset collision. This tileset will be for things that can collide with the player, so they will stop the player. I'll import an image for this as well. We need to create the actual tileset assets now, which let us use these sprites as tiles. I'll make a new group in the asset browser called tilesets. Here I'll create a new tileset assets and call this TS ground. TS here simply means tileset. You can assign a sprite to it by simply dropping it from the asset browser. So I'll take my ground tileset sprite and assign it to my new tileset. If you want, you can also assign a sprite through this button. Now here you can change the size of each tile, and 16 by 16 actually works out for our tileset, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. Of course, if you're using a different tileset, you can change this. Now we are going to set up auto tiling for this tileset. This way you don't have to worry about manually placing each corner tile, and GameMaker will handle that for you. Let's click on this auto tiling button here and set it up in this new window. You can make two kinds of auto tile sets, one that uses 47 tiles and another that uses 16. We're gonna go with the 16 one. So click on it and it will create a new auto tile set. Here you can assign tiles according to the white and gray areas. Let's just say that the white part is the grass and the gray part is the dirt. So click on this and one by one start selecting the tiles that fit. You can click on this button to see an overlay and make sure that you're selecting the correct tiles. If you mess up, you can always change the tile. And now I'll go ahead and fill in all of these. And now our auto tiling is complete. Let's set up another tileset. In the tilesets group, I'll create a new tileset asset and name this TS collision. I'll assign the collision tileset sprite to it. Now we don't need any auto tiling for this, it's just a few obstacles that we can place around the room. But we can do something interesting. I'm gonna open the brush builder window. On the left here we see our tilesets, and on the right we have an empty canvas where we can create different brushes or groups of tiles. For example, I'll create different shapes of bushes. I'll also make some for rocks. And now these are all different brushes that we can use in the room. Let's go into the rooms group now. I'll right click on the room here and rename it. You can also press F2. I'll change its name to RM World because this will be our game's world. I'll open the room now. Down here at the bottom in the room settings, I'll set the size of the room to 640 by 640. I know that seems small, but we are making a pixel art game which uses low resolution sprites, so this is going to be big enough, but of course you can make it as large or as small as you like. Let's start placing our tiles, and for that we first need a tile layer. In the layers panel, I'll click on this button to create a new tile layer. I'll rename this to tiles ground I'll also make sure to place it below the instances layer because we want it to appear below instances such as the player. Down here we have the tile layer properties and it currently doesn't have a tile set assigned to it. I'll click on this and select the TS ground tile sets and we can now start placing tiles in this layer. On the right side of the IDE you'll see a new panel and this is used for selecting tiles from your tile sets. You can select each individual tile and place it in the tile map. I'll select the basic grass tile. Then up here I'll choose the fill tool and fill the room with that tile. Now we're gonna go under libraries and here we have auto tiles. Select this and now you can place tiles using the auto tile feature. Left clicking will not do anything right now because the room already has grass. So you can instead right click to place dirt. You can then left click again to place grass. Let's use it to create paths and design our world. The ground tile layer is done. So now let's place the collision tiles. Go into the layers panel and here create a new tile layer. Let's name this tiles collision and make sure that it's placed above the tiles ground layer but below the instances layer. Now in the properties below, click here and select the collision tile sets. You'll see those tiles here, so you can start placing them. And you can also go under brushes and see your brushes down here. You can select any of them and place them in the room, and this makes level creation much faster. So I'll place some around and build my world. Now after you've placed all of your bushes and rocks, you can use the eraser tool to cut out a path and just make use of these tools to design your world in your way. So we now have our world set up with all sorts of tiles. If you run the game, however, you're gonna see the whole room in the window. That's not how games work. You want to have a camera in the game that only shows a part of it and follows the player. So we are going to work on that camera and set up the game's resolution in the next lecture. So that's all for this video. Check out my other tutorials from here and make sure to subscribe for more GameMaker content. I'll see you in the next video.